When life is difficult, adopt a greater perspective. The greatest perspective is a cosmic perspective. From that viewpoint, our problems here on Earth seem quite insignificant and easy to overcome. When you find yourself stuck in life, stop, get present, relax, and widen out. Welcome, welcome. Can you hear me? There we go. We are live here to experience, not just talk about, not just think about, but actually experience limitlessness. Being limitless. Ready? This can be a lot of fun. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to show you a clip from the actual movie Limitless. And in that movie, they really did a great job of showing us or demonstrating visually what it's like to awaken to a present moment perspective. It's a profound scene. So, without further ado, I will dive right in with this. So, we're going to be jumping in the first time. If you've seen this movie Limitless, I don't advocate that what it's promoting is the use of pharmaceuticals or drugs to achieve our full potential or have self-realization. But that aside, it still does show you the steps, the evolutionary steps that a human being goes through as they realize greater and greater aspects, greater and greater powers. Lucy is another great movie like that. So we're jumping in right now. He has just taken this pill that's supposed to basically bring him to a present moment perspective and access his full faculties, his full resources, his intelligence, his creativity, his charisma, on and on and on. I'll show you here at the bottom. I have a couple of the qualities that I noticed for myself. And here, I'm going to throw this up right now. Before we jump into this, I want you to pay attention to this, right? We're talking about attention. That's what this whole thing is about. The Found Fun Discovery Method is all about learning to take command of your attention. The least known yet greatest asset that we have as human beings. And what I want you to pay attention to as we watch this clip is what's scrolling down below. These qualities. See if you can't see these in, I forget his name. He's a very famous actor. You know who I'm talking about from Limitless. So here we go. One time and then we'll push play. Sharper focus. Detached equals effective. What am I talking about here? I am talking about, this is an important point, so I'm going to stop this for a second. Detached equals effective. When it comes to issues in our life that are sensitive, that are very personal, such as mental health or even our physical health, right? We tend to go to an outside authority or an expert who is objective. They are not personally invested, emotionally invested in what we are challenged with or what we're struggling with, which allows them to effectively support us, even more effectively by being objective. That is the whole point here. So you can also play that out in your own personal life. Notice where you're attached. Notice where you're detached. The goal is to be passionately detached, is what my mentor shared with me. And I find that to be the most exquisite experience you can have as a human being, because you're not beholden to anything, and yet you're fully enjoying it dynamically. A lot of people fear when it comes to a spiritual path that it leads to being totally detached and unrelatable, can't connect with people. I've been through those phases in my spiritual journey, but it's not the ultimate. It's a phase. It's a phase in your teenage spiritual years. No. Okay, so that's an important point. Now, real quick, back to this. Detached equals effective. Does that make more sense? Wonderful. That's my whole point. What I notice more details, right? More attractive, efficient with time. Are any of these qualities enticing? Do they sound like something you would like to have more of in your life? Life is brighter, resourceful, creative, captivating, irresistible. Keep your attention on these qualities and notice them in this clip that we're about to watch. Here, let me get myself out of the picture here. Well, no, maybe I can. No, I don't want to distract you. I want you to have your full attention on this clip. Here we go.
I was blind, but now I see.
Noticing more details. Passionately detached.
What's wrong?
What?
You don't like me, and I don't blame you. You see a self-defeating, energy-sucking piece of shit who's sponging off your husband. You're wishing I'd blow my brains out, but my existence shouldn't make you this upset. What is it?
That's none
Insightful.
of your business.
Something wrong in law school?
How do you know I'm in law school?
People who aren't usually don't carry around dry, academically constipated books about a dead Supreme Court justice.
You're a creep, aren't you? You've been following me.
No, I just noticed the book.
You just saw the corner of it. How did you know that?
I'd seen it before, 12 years ago in college. Sitting on the couch of a TA I was trying to make, waiting for her to come back out of the bathroom, hoping she'd have a condom. Somehow my unconscious had served that up. A memory I'd never even recorded, or was it there the whole time, and all I needed was the access.
Total.
If you're writing a paper, that's not the book I'd use.
Well, who asked you?
Hastings has his oral history. I'd start there. Interesting point. Grammatically, this guy was an idiot, which sort of gives credence to the theory that one of the clerks he had fired actually wrote most of this guy's major opinions. You could Google the clerk's sons. They'd love to talk to you, exonerate their dad. That'd give you something that no one else has.
Information from the Odd Museum show, a half-read
What do you
article,
know
some
about
PBS documentary. It was all bubbling up in my frontal lobes, mixing itself together into a sparkling cocktail of useful information.
Effortless.
She didn't
Okay,
have
so
a chance.
What are your suggestions?
We'd really worked on her paper, too. In 45 minutes, it was a polished gem. She was pleased.
And of course, excellent. And of course, in the very last scene, we have charisma, irresistible, and attractive. Who doesn't want to be more attractive? Who doesn't want to be more irresistible? The key to being limitless is to take on a present moment perspective. By doing so, you become irresistible to others. They're not quite sure what it is about you, but they know they want it and they have to have it now. Feel that. Feel being that irresistible in life. Of course, it's not an ego thing here. That's the whole point. It's beyond the ego. It's beyond our personal self. This is the realm of a higher power that we access. That is the only way to really truly feel limitless in physical creation. So let's dive into it, yeah? If life is what we make it, why not make it more limitless? Really, why not? If I create my reality, excuse me, I gotta be more centered here on the camera. Awesome. If I create my reality, why wouldn't I create it to be more limitless? Why would I limit myself? These are the kind of questions that are great to ask yourself if you can get out of the survival game. And if you can be more proactive and deliberate in your life, you're going to be asking these questions. You're going to be exploring the big questions in life. That is the value of transcending the survival game, not being subjected to that scramble, scramble, scramble. I don't have any free time to do anything. I don't have any free time to grow. I don't have any free time to evolve. I don't have any free time for self-discovery, self-care, you name it. I'm just too busy surviving. No, that's not how life is supposed to be. You were sold a bill of goods. Go out in nature. Just take a look. Even animals that appear to have a very challenging role in nature or a very challenging objective, I don't ever see them complaining and struggling and working all day and not really getting the results they want. They're in this joyful state of action, taking action. That's why we watch it, because it's so irresistible. It's like, wow, you're like doing something that I wouldn't want to be doing, but you're really enjoying doing it as you do it. That is the lesson nature has to share with us. Is life is joyful. It is effortless and it is limitless. But we must first believe that and understand the fundamentals of being human in order to access it, which is what we're going to do here on this live today. Okay. So let's explore 3 ways to effortlessly feel more limitless in your life. Would you like to feel more limitless in your life? Let me hear from you. I would love to hear from you over there in the comments. That would be amazing. And as always, right, I can put it up there, let's explore. But I never get the lens right. It's always backwards. There's someplace in here, right? Mirror. There it is. Let's explore. And then my camera's all different. Do you make time to explore life, to explore the fundamentals, the bigger questions, the bigger purpose in life? Or are you just here going through the motions, waiting for the next life, waiting for more free time? My mission is to empower others to awaken to their fullest potential, live it, and serve the greater good. Because believe it or not, and I'm looking right at you, each and every one of you that are watching this video right now, hear me clearly. You came here to fulfill a specific purpose. If you happen to be watching this video, that's even more evidence that you're headed in the right direction. Now, getting in touch with me so that we can realize that purpose is the ultimate goal. But whatever you do, when you go to bed at night and when you wake up, I want you to remind yourself, I have a unique purpose to fulfill in this world. And that is for you and you alone, each and every one of us. This is what I believe. What do you believe? Share your beliefs in the comments. We're not here to really dive into that fundamental this time. I do have a video on the fundamentals of belief, how that works, how it is we believe our way into a reality. And if you would like a link to that, then just drop a note or send me a message, and I'll be happy to get you that so you can have a greater understanding of how beliefs create our reality. We'll touch upon it briefly in this video, and you'll have a greater understanding by the end of this video, I can promise you. It just won't be as in-depth as if I focused solely on that. Excellent. You know the rules, you know the game, name of the game. Please show your support. You don't understand how challenging it can be to have a message that you want to get out on social media with all the roadblocks and the dead ends, and there's a whole lot of control on social media that prevents me from being able to just simply connect with you. It's like you have to, yeah, it has to be in the algorithm. You have to like it, blah, 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 blah. And of course, I have my own limiting beliefs about social media, that it's not really there to serve our highest and best, to serve the greater good. It's more of like a, I don't know, a scary kind of programming or indoctrinating machine that allows certain people to pump the masses and our collective consciousness with certain ideas that they deem appropriate, while blocking and censoring other ideas that are contrary to their agenda and to their narrative. And I'm diligently shifting those beliefs. Obviously, I'm here right now on Facebook, even though I'm not fully aligned with the community standards, which, like, really, if you asked me or a majority of the community that use the platform, are these the standards we want? Are these the rules we want? No, but they call them community rules or community standards so that it's more palatable. Anyway, that was a little bit of a rant. So just listen. Please help me by showing your support, liking, following, sharing, and most importantly, if you're here watching live or on the replay, is participating and engaging. Let me know you're there. Drop in a comment every now and then and point out what it is that might add value in your life. The way I like to do that is have you put a hashtag found fun down below, and that lets me know what you want to see more of in the future. All right. As always, I appreciate that. Here we go. All right, give me 1 second. I will be right back. Tyra, I am doing my live. I have a microphone. It's very sensitive. Please minimize the sounds for like an hour. Thank you. Okay, you still there? I had to let my roommate know that I was live and that I have a microphone that's very sensitive and can pick up all sorts of sounds. All right, I'm back. Here we are. As a thank you to those who attend this live or the replay. That's so tiny. Can you read it? I wonder how big it is on your screen over there. But I tell you what, I'm going to make it bigger. As a thank you to those who attend this live or the replay, I'm giving away a complimentary taste of a present moment perspective, firsthand experience of the foundation of my work, so that you can see for yourself that this is the end all be all, a present moment perspective, being here now, operating from the present moment, not worrying about the future and not regretting the past. Does that sound intriguing to you? Let me hear from you. I'd love to hear what others believe that are watching this. Because at the end of the day, that's the relativity of life. My beliefs create my reality. Your beliefs create your reality. My beliefs create my reality. Their beliefs create their reality, and their beliefs create their reality. And somehow it all works. It's kind of like soap bubbles from what I gather, as far as I can understand. What I'm giving away is priceless. There is simply no better place to operate from than in the present moment. I could talk about this ad nauseum. You've probably read books about it or heard other people talk about it, and none of that matters, especially when it comes to feeling limitless. This is all about firsthand experience. So don't let your mind fool you that watching this live, reading some of my posts, signing up for my email list, that any of that is the equivalent of you having a firsthand experience of the present moment. It's night and day, folks. So don't pretend, don't think that you can pick up a book, watch a YouTube video, and be an expert at anything without actually getting your hands dirty, without actually getting into the trenches. That's where experience happens. Firsthand experience. When somebody's experienced, it's because they have spent a lot of time and attention focused on that specific subject, which makes them experienced, aka an expert. Short of breath. I hope you're not hearing my heavy sighs here. When I go live, it can be a little bit intimidating because I've got a lot of people watching me right now. So it's amazing that I'm here talking to you. And you are here ready to awaken to a greater sense of self, your higher self. So if you would like an opportunity to get that complimentary taste of a present moment perspective, here's how it works. Anyone who drops a hashtag found fun, remember earlier that I asked if you catch anything during this live that adds value to your life, a nugget, an aha, an insight, please put a hashtag found fun down below. Anyone who drops a hashtag found below during this live stream or on the replay will receive a link to join my exclusive inner circle. It's my email list to get their gift in their first welcome email, right? It's a little bit of a trade-off, and it's not solely for me. It's also for you. This is really important for everybody online to realize that the more deliberate you are about whose list you join, the better off you're going to be. But do join the list of people that you look up to, that you value their expertise, their insights, instruction, whatever that is. Why is it that I'm asking you and they're asking you to join their email list? It's because we want redundancy and we want a backup. As you well know, through the last 3-4 years, we have witnessed firsthand how overbearing social media can be on its platforms, how unfair, how censored and limited, right? We're talking about being limitless. Social media platforms are not limitless. In fact, they're very limited from some weird, I don't know where this idea came from other than from San Francisco, which is I've got to be the sheriff on my platform. Otherwise, it's going to be the Wild West and it's going to be crazy and people are going to get hurt. No, you're not the hall monitor for our social media. So go away. If you want to create a social platform, create it to embrace freedom of speech and our own individual cognition, our own individual critical thinking that allows us to discern for ourselves what is factual and what's made up, what is misinformation, disinformation, this information, that information, whatever the heck you want to call it, whatever it is that you, Mr. Authority, believe you need to protect me from. Let me be crystal clear right now. I don't need your help. I don't need your protection. I can discern for myself. I can decide what information I'm going to consume for myself. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So that's how you can get a complimentary taste of a present moment perspective. Is simple as putting a hashtag found fun down below, and you will get a link to my private inner circle email list so that we are connected no matter what happens here on social media. You will get a welcome email with the details of redeeming that complimentary firsthand experience of a present moment perspective. It's normally a $350 value. I'm giving this away for free. And then because I'm studying challenges, I'm putting together a challenge called Advantage, the Attention Advantage 5-day challenge. And one of the things they use in challenges is the fast action bonus when you're signing up for things. So I decided to play around with that today and throw it in here. So here's my fast action bonus for you if you're watching this or the replay. Share this live. Let's start this thing over. Fast action bonus. Share this live with at least one friend here on Facebook, obviously. I'm going to be able to see that in the analytics who shared this video. And then drop a hashtag done to let me know when I see it in the comments, by the way. Right? Not that way, this way. Over there. After you share this video, drop a hashtag done, and I will look at the analytics. I will confirm that you shared this video, and I will reach out to you with the fast action bonus, which is to get a complimentary taste of a present moment perspective ASAP. In other words, if you go through the other process to claim your gift, it's basically signing up for my inner circle, and then you'll receive an email in a couple of days that has the details about redeeming that and basically scheduling it. My fast action bonus, which is if you share this video with someone you care about who desires to feel more limitless in their life, right? That's the whole point. You're not just sharing it to get a prize. You're actually sharing it because you care about other people and you want to empower their lives. Paying it forward is a fundamental. When you support another person's greatness, another person's evolution, growth, it benefits you too, believe it or not. Again, this is something you have to experience firsthand to understand fully, but I've experienced it plenty, multitudes, multiple times where it's like I helped somebody else and immediately I got help, exactly the kind of help I wanted, usually even better. So it would behoove you to consider serving the greater good and putting others' needs before yours, not in a detrimental sort of way. You're not a martyr. You're not here to work yourself to death. But the right order of things is obviously important. Take care of yourself first. That's self-care. After that, the next thing to take care of is others. And when I say self-care, that's the essentials. That's not a Ferrari. That's not a mega yacht, okay? You can forego that and help others at this moment right now. If you get so disgustingly rich that you have nothing better to do with your money but spend it wantingly on silly, frivolous things that just simply create more stratification in the world, right? If we didn't have mega mansions and mega yachts and all that stuff, would we feel like we were missing out while the other person had it? No, we wouldn't, right? That's the whole point. It's like they're trying to show off that they are better than the rest of us. Yeah, they're enjoying their loot, their riches, their rewards. But I'm telling you, I have met lots and lots of wealthy people in my career as a chef. And for the most part, they're just, they gained in nefarious sort of ways. Every now and then you'll run into somebody that has real integrity. And you take a step back, you're like, wow, that's amazing. I've never met Warren Buffett personally, but I just don't feel like he could do harm. I mean, he's from the Midwest. He seems to be an honorable, stand-up kind of guy. That's the kind of wealthy person I would trust before, say, I don't know, name any wealthy person that took a spaceship into outer space recently. And those kind of people get on my nerves because they're just bragging and they're rubbing it in everybody else's face. And that's just not nice. Anyway, too much. So make sure that you get that fast action bonus by sharing this video. And I will immediately send you over my calendar link so you can schedule it and have it much quicker than if you went the route of joining my inner circle and waited for the email with the information about scheduling it. Boom. Where are you watching from? What's your passion? I want to know who my viewers are on here right now. So please, by all means, over there, over there, drop it in the comments. Let me know, where are you watching from? This is going out across the world. There's billions of people out there, so I'm sure there's billions of people watching this right now, right? I'm sure that Facebook isn't throttling my content and my lives and making them go into some cul-de-sac in social media where nobody goes and ever finds it, but that's fine. I have no problems because I am limitless. Would you like to be limitless too? It is a feeling that comes from being. Who am I? Who is this guy? This guy is this guy. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. That's my agenda. My agenda is to awaken you to your own truth. How's that sound? That's the whole point here. My name is Keith Volpe. I support diehard experts and entrepreneurs serving the greater good to be more productive, minimize their stress, accomplish their goals, achieve superhuman focus, and avoid the common pitfalls, the common discouragements and disappointments that happen on a regular basis for most unaware people. You know what I'm talking about? Those things that you're like, I didn't expect that. Oh yeah, it was down there in your unconsciousness. So that gives you a little more insight to who I am. So let me ask you, if you believe you're responsible for creating your reality, why not make it great? What's stopping you? This is a great opportunity for self-honesty, to look in the mirror and be really raw, vulnerable, and honest with yourself. What is stopping me from being all I can be? What is limiting me from achieving my greatness? Let the answer come to you. Don't force it. I guarantee you'll often be surprised. But you might actually have some insights during this video as we dive into the fundamentals a little more here in a second. So let's get into this, yeah? Let's explore. I had to get in front of the microphone so you can hear me. Let's explore 3 ways to effortlessly feel more limitless in your life. Sound like a plan? I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. It was last week I attempted to do it and I had some sound issues, and hopefully, as I'm looking at all my cords here, they seem to be all plugged in. This time I ought to be able to have my sound on the video. Go figure. Love technology. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's always working out for me. Can I show this on top of that? No. It's got to be either or, right? So let's explore 3 ways to effortlessly feel more limitless in your life. Number 1, the fundamentals of being human, which is what the Found Fun discovery method is all about. Foundations of fundamentals. When you focus on foundations of fundamentals, you get to say, I found fun in my life. Pretty catchy, right? I'm also very clever. I have a clever identity that loves to be creative in the way it words things. What are we talking about here? The fundamentals of being, all caps, human. Our beingness precedes our humanity. There's a great saying that one of my mentors shared with me often, which is who you are being is so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Have you ever met a person like this? Most likely you have, unless you're a hermit living in the Himalayas. You've ran into somebody that it's like you can't even hear what they're saying because who they're being is so annoying, so easily resisted, repulsive. Frankly, just speaking the truth here. We've all met those people that are just outright repulsive and we can't even connect, right? That is a condition of being. Being is feeling. What we're feeling is what we're being, is a simple way to put that. I always like to reference animals. Dogs in particular, very intelligent. I believe cats probably too, but they're just so full of themselves. Narcissists. All cats are narcissists. So dogs, right? Dogs operate on what we're talking about, on the feeling, what do you call that? The feeling plane. Let's call it the feeling plane. The dogs operate on the feeling plane, and they're registering who you're being, which is energetic, right? It's not what you say, it's not what you do. That's inconsequential to a dog. A dog is tuning in to who you're being to assess the threat level, basically to sniff your butt if you want. Let's call it what it is. The way a dog sniffs your butt is through feeling, so that they can understand who you are, what your intention is, and whether you're a threat. So that's why oftentimes this is a scenario, okay? If you have dogs, you know what I'm talking about, where you can literally switch up who you're being with what you're saying, and it will have the same impact. So it would look a little something like this. Oh, you're such a worthless piece of shit. You ought to go to the pound because I don't like you at all. In fact, I hate you. You so annoying little doggy. What do you think the dog is doing as I'm being something but saying something else? That dog's tail's wagging, right? It's like, oh, my owner's excited, so I'm excited. Meanwhile, we can flip it, right? So let me see how would I do that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to flip it. And before I was being enthusiastic, I was being, enthusiastic, joyful. I was being that as I was scolding and reprimanding that dog and telling him how much I didn't like him. Now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to be angry, but I'm going to speak words of encouragement, words of gratitude, right? So it would, let's see if I can do this. You are the most amazing pet I've ever had in my life. Everything about you I love, and I can't wait to have more of it every morning when I wake up. You're just the most amazing pet. You're the most amazing dog, the most amazing friend in my life, and you're so special. Can you feel my love? Can you feel how much I am grateful for you being in my life? It was okay. I won't get an Oscar for that one, but I'm giving you a sense of what I'm talking about when it comes to who you're being is so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Pay more attention when you're out there in public and notice how people are broadcasting who they're being energetically, whether it's shy, confident, sexy, ugly, repulsive, get away from me, don't talk to me. Yeah, you know you want it. I'm amazing. These are all different beings, right? I'm special and I have a lot of money and you should respect me more than everybody else. Or I'm so worthless. I have nothing to offer anybody. I am such a loser. Another form of being. These are all forms of being. Now, do you see firsthand why it's important to cultivate self-awareness. Where does cultivating self-awareness start? From a present moment perspective. So when you are operating, when you adopt a present moment perspective, you will easily be able to see who it is that you're being. And by seeing who you're being, you can decide whether you want to continue to be that or not. And eventually, you start to build the muscle of living deliberately and deciding in every moment and every interaction, who is it that I want to be? Most likely, in every interaction, you will start out with a goal that you want to accomplish, and then that will be followed up with the question, who do I need to be to accomplish this? That's an important point, because if you're being a loser, attempting to enroll somebody in working with you, then that's going to backfire on you. If you're being sexy in the business world, not so appropriate, ladies. A lot of people are starting to talk about this for the first time. We're getting all real here in the world nowadays, and there's going to be another. I'm not going to say that word. So, ladies, be professional and find an arena to be sexy. Find an arena to let your cleavage hang out and your I'm gonna get so much trouble here. Your delicious booty and your skin tight clothes. I mean, do you not see the conflict here? Unless that's how you want to be perceived in the world. Do you want to be perceived as somebody that got ahead by the Me Too movement? You know what I'm talking about. This is another thing that hasn't been talked about. It became real big, and all of a sudden, all these women came out of the woodwork talking about how they were sexually harassed. But I guarantee you, the reason there was so much hesitation leading up to that was because more often than not, they got something in return for that humiliating behavior. And as long as they got something out of it, I mean, of course, that's where regret shows up later on. 10 years down the road, you got some insignificant role, or you got some position you no longer have. 10 years down the road, you're going to be like, wow, I kind of sold my soul to the devil there. I kind of gave it up, and the return wasn't worth it. And that's just the stickiness that happens when you mix business and sexuality. Try to keep those two things separate if you can. Something I'm learning to do myself as well. Number 1, the fundamentals. Understanding how do we limit ourselves. All right, back on track here. How do we limit ourselves? Here is a simple diagram. Where is it? I thought I downloaded the other one. I didn't. But let's use this for right now. And while that's going on, I'm going to see if I can't download this real quick here. Download. Yes. Download. All right, there it goes. Okay. We'll let that download and maybe I can use it later. Okay, so looking at this is your consciousness. This is you. Oh, there it is. Study this for a moment while I upload these graphics real quick so I can utilize them. Copy of. Why can't I? Well, this is fun. Is there any particular reason why I can't do that? I do not know. I apologize for doing this. It always happens. I like try to do something at the last minute and messes everything up. I'm not going to show you those slides. We're just going to work off of this right here. Okay. So what you're looking at right here is you and your own evolution. The example that I'm using right here in this diagram is my own nephew. He's going to be 3, I think, coming up here in the fall. I got to witness him learning how to be a human. I actually was able to verify the fundamentals of being human by observing my little nephew learning, growing up and evolving into a running and walking human being. But where did he have to start? Where do we all have to start? You could go all the way back to the sperm and the egg if you want. That's where we all had to start. But let's say we're going to fast forward here and get through all some of those crazy odds that people just take for granted in their life. There's the most amazing intention, and then I'm going to jump into this, and that I got from my mentor as well. And that is, I am the culmination. No, I made that one up. I am the product was his. Mine is, I am the culmination of 13 billion years of evolution. Try that out. Try that on and see how it fits. Because if self-esteem is an issue for you, self-value is an issue for you, that just simply means you're taking your own existence for granted and you're not realizing the impossibility of you existing out of 25 million sperm, out of this odds and that odds, out of the odds of your mother and father connecting the way they connected and not missing each other like ships passing in the night, to just your birth being successful and not having complications, to your growth as a child, not getting, run over by a car by the playground. There's a million opportunities for you not to exist. But yet here you are watching this live with me or the replay. And that in and of itself is a miracle. And we're looking at it right here on screen. So the first thing I noticed that my nephew had to master as an infant, and again, I get these two mixed up because I don't remember exactly how they unfolded. If it was lift yourself up or roll over. So these two are interposed, but let's just go with this, right? So as a baby, you're on your back, right? You're like a turtle that can't turn over. And so the first thing that a baby has to learn to do, obviously, is roll over onto their belly. That's a huge obstacle for an infant. And to watch them struggle as they develop their muscles to accomplish the simplest task of rolling over. How hard is it for you to roll over these days? Not so challenging. But back then, that was a Herculean effort that you had to overcome. The moment you learn to roll over, there's the next level of your growth, which is lift yourself up. Now, I want you to notice these concentric circles, because those concentric circles are kind of like your levels of evolution, if you will. So in the very beginning, you were just the center circle, and you had the skill of rolling over. That's how big you were, like an infant, right? Tiny, smaller. And then you got a little bit bigger. And the reason you got a little bit bigger is because you learned a new skill, which is lift yourself up. That actually seemed to be even more challenging for my nephew, because that's like trying to do your very first push-up ever with no muscles. So that takes a lot of work. The rolling over was challenging too. But boy, man, the moment he was able to support his own weight on his front arms, like you're doing a ladies push-up where you utilize your knees. You know what I'm talking about? That's exactly what it's like for an infant, right? They got to lift themselves up with their arms. It's the beginning of crawling is what it is. So then once he did that, boom. And then came mobility. And I made that a nice thick circle for you to see how big it is. But again, you're not as big as you can be, which is the full circle. Right now, we're just at that middle part, right? That's how big you are. And so now we're going to add the skill of crawling, mobility. But I could not crawl until A, I learned to lift myself up. B, I learned to roll over. It builds on itself. And every time we add another skill, we become more capable in life. We define ourselves. That's what we're doing. I can roll over. I can lift myself up. I can crawl. Crawling leads into standing up, which is another big thing. It's funny. It's like watching an infant rock climbing on a piece of furniture. You know what I'm talking about, man. They're just like, ugh, 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 ugh. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to do it. And they fall down, and then they're all wobbly. And then eventually, no hands. Remember that moment? That is the most exciting moment in a baby's life. I'm standing all by myself. Hey, that's a great accomplishment relative to the poor sperm that are still languishing in the uterus right now. Being able to stand up is a step ahead, so to speak. And of course, standing up leads into the ultimate mobility, which is walking, which leads into running, which leads into specializing. I'm going to be a gymnast. I'm going to be an exotic dancer. I'm going to be a football player. I'm going to be a basketball player, however we want to specialize physically, right? But it all came from rolling over. And that's how we create our reality, through our experiences and the beliefs we choose to hold. Because each one of these successes reinforces a belief. I can roll over. At first, it's kind of doubtful, right? Am I ever going to be able to accomplish this? Am I ever going to be able to lift myself up? I'm not sure. But then the moment it happens, it's like it reinforces, it solidifies, it reaffirms that belief within you, which is, I can lift myself up. I am lifting myself up. I am crawling, I'm standing up, I'm walking, and I'm running. You could not accomplish any of those without first believing in it. I know, it's crazy. Let's dive into the number 2. Let me get rid of that. Now that you understand the construct of consciousness. Number 2, everything you've learned is a limitation. Expand beyond. This is where it starts to get really kind of sticky, because it's like, wait, you just spent all that time talking about growth and evolution and how amazing it is to build on each level of progress. And now you're telling me that it's a limitation? Yeah, it is. Especially if you want to do something like, say, I don't know, fly. I'm not going to limit you. That's your job. That's everybody's job, to limit themselves. Don't ever, listen to me clearly, do not ever allow another human being to limit you. That's your prerogative. Whatever you want to believe that you can't do, that's on you. Anybody outside of you asserting you can't do that, you know what you can tell them to do. It starts with an F and it ends with a U. So what am I talking about here? Everything you've learned is a limitation. Okay. Analogy time. Well, okay, boom. So this has been coming up often for me. Let me go full screen here. This has been coming up for me often in some of my tarot readings, and that is the conditioning card, which I'm not sure what that traditional. I use Osho Zen Tarot. It has a little bit more meaning to the cards for me. I've never been a joiner when it comes to doing things that everyone else is doing. I like to do my own thing. But the card I draw is conditioning, and it's basically the story of the line that was raised by sheep. You know what I mean? Have you heard that story before about how there was a line that was rescued by pack of sheep and raised by those sheep to the point where it started to believe it was a sheep, that it wasn't, in fact, a lion. And the analogy goes to one day the lion and the sheep are out, and then an actual adult male lion sees the lion playing sheep and says, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm being a sheep because that's what I am. I was raised a sheep. I grew up as a sheep. I think like a sheep. I guess I eat like a sheep. I don't know, maybe." And that's when the lion grabs him by the mane and drags him over to a nearby pond. He says, "Look in that pond. Look at that reflection. You see the guy on the right? That's me. I'm a lion. See the guy on the left? That's you. What are you?" "I'm a sheep." Said, "Look at the reflection. What are you?" And that's when he realized that he was a lion pretending to be a sheep. This is an example of how we can limit ourselves through our beliefs, through what we choose to hold as a belief. If I believe I'm a sheep, then I am boxed in to that reality. No matter what other people say to me, that's going to be my reality. I'd say this is probably has a lot to do with people that are identifying with this or that, right? It's a deep, deep unconscious desire that humanity has to be basically nothing, to be unlimited, to be limitless. That's what they're tapping into. They're just going about it in the unhealthy sort of way. You have to go through. Remember this? What's happening right now when it comes to this freaking, I don't even know what to call it. I'm so over it. I don't even want to talk about it, but like identity politics or whatever. What's happening is it's like they're here in the center, learning to roll over, and all of a sudden they're like, "Nope, I'm gonna skip lifting myself up, crawling, and standing up, and I'm just gonna walk and run right here, right now. Good luck." That's the challenge. But absolutely, non-binary is our true self. The binary is the duality within creation, the physical. The physical is relative. That's where the duality comes from. That's where binary code comes from. That makes up computers and everything else. It's the relativity, the relationship between those two opposing forces that create all sorts of good things for us. So don't run away from your binary nature hastily. Be wise about what it is you're abandoning by looking to see what value it actually holds for you in your life. And maybe it's a stepping stone towards your ultimate goal, because that's where everybody's headed. And I'm here to support you to create the reality you're inspired to create from your heart, not from your mind, not from your sick fantasies, but from your heart's desires. Because this thing is always on point. The heart is always on point. If you live a heart-centered life, you're going to be much better off than people living a mind-centered life. Especially coming up. We're going to go through some tough stuff here pretty soon. Thank goodness I'm limitless and not subject to all that. Okay, got it? Do you see how everything you learned is a limitation? Do you see how that works? I'd love to get some feedback from you down below over there. Let me know what you're learning or what you're realizing from this process. Okay? If I've learned that I am a okay, if I learned I was the child of Adolf Hitler, and I grew up believing I was a good person, and then I learned this new information, and I picked an obvious example here, okay? And I learned this information that I'm descended from a bad guy. I do this because you gotta know the fundamentals of how this works. There is again, we're back to relativity. We're back to the binary duality of creation. There is nothing in creation that is all good or all bad. Nothing. Everything in creation, everything manifest, everything with physical form is subject to duality. It has a dark side and a light side. Yin and yang. That's why a pope can be a child molester or whatever, a bishop, or I don't know. I can't keep track. That's why they can be a child molester. It's like, it's almost unbelievable. Like, that was a holy person. They're so good. Yeah, well, be careful of people that are asserting, I'm all good, because they're in total denial of their shadow. Same goes for people that are bad, like Adolf Hitler, right? Or anybody. It's like, they're not. I hate to say it. I know you want to condemn these people. You want to hang them from the town square. You want to lash them and be it. Man, I watched some Antifa videos from Portland lately, stuff that never made it into the news. And those dudes are out of control. We're out of control. I'm trusting that evolution has taken place since the last 3 years and that things have changed. But man, that was brutal to see what those people were doing to that Andy Young or whatever. He was a journalist reporting on what was going on, and he was being totally, it's awful. I don't know what got me onto that, but that was the point I was making is, oh, all bad, right? So even mean, awful, nasty, mass murdering Adolf Hitler has a soft side. It's there, probably buried deep, 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 deep down underneath all his self-hatred, all of his whatever, his judgments, his misperceptions, his stupid ideologies. And, you know, this is important to be aware of, because the people that need love the most in our world are the people that have denied they've denied the light, they've denied their goodness, and they've just fully embraced their shadow. So if you want to defeat somebody like Adolf Hitler, you know how you do it? You do it by loving them. I know, it's insane to the mind, but these are fundamentals, timeless fundamentals. The Amish practice this. Remember that school shooting in Amish country, and how they like immediately forgave the person that did it? I remember the news. It was kind of like, whoa, that's crazy, right? And then, of course, they were being mocked for that. Like, you're not vengeful. You don't want justice. Is that what you call it? Justice? I don't know. Lynching is not justice. That's self-gratification and revenge. Justice is actually leading with transparency, discovery, and starting with innocence and concluding with guilt. That's justice. So be aware that anything you learn is a limitation, because the next level, right? If we go back to the circles real quick here, the next level from roll over to crawl, I have to learn to lift myself up. But if I'm stuck in all I know how to do is roll over, and I'm desiring to crawl, I'm like, okay, rolling over is great, but I want to move. I want to explore this house and see what there is to see. But all I can do is roll over. I'll never get to crawling. I don't even see a way there. There's no bridge. It seems like a big leap from rolling over. Well, that's because you're totally missing that lift yourself up. Right? It's a natural evolution. You just stay the course and let go as much as you're learning. That's the point I'm getting to here. Let go of what you know as much as you can, and that creates space for new possibilities to show up. The known versus the unknown. That was the slides that I attempted. Oh, did I get them? No, I still wasn't able to do it. All right, anyway, moving on. Oh, it's an hour in. Okay. Everything you learned is a limitation. Expand beyond. Absolutely. Number 3, question everything, including me, please. Not to the point of being paranoid at every turn, but there certainly needs to be a whole lot more skepticism in the world today regarding the narrative, regarding what's real and what's not, what's true and what's not, what's fake news, what's misinformation, disinformation, all that stuff. It can be quickly and easily cleared up when we start questioning everything. Osho, who does the tarot cards that I was talking about earlier, he oh my gosh, I hate this. Anyone else experiencing this where your train of thought is just gone? I mean, it is totally gone. I was going to talk about Osho, and it was in relationship to question. Osho in the tarot deck, he talks about how doubt is like the most wonderful quality to have, because it's a very what would be the word? A very distilling quality. When you doubt something, all you're doing is making sure it's real. Have you noticed that not happening today? Have you noticed how all sorts of theories will come out after an incident, say in Maui, and then immediately, oh no, that's not true. Oh no, that's not true. Oh no, that's not true. Or whether it's an election, and then people are like, nope, that's not true. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. On either side. Like, question everything. Question the things you agree with. Especially question the things you don't disagree with. Especially question the things you disagree with. But most importantly, above all else, question the unquestionable. Anytime an outside authority, a representative of we the people, goes on television, online, whatever, and tells you something and doesn't allow any space for doubt or to verify the information they're providing, be suspect. Be very, very suspect. Because if it's true and I'm doubting it, then a person, say like RFK Jr., will come to defend that truth and do it in a very beautiful way, that's the truth. The truth is unshakable and it's unbreakable. You can only lie for a certain amount of time before the truth inevitably shows up. So question everything and allow yourself to make the conclusions about what's happening in life. But it comes with personal responsibility. You can't be willy-nilly about this. If you suspect foul play in Hawaii and you feel that in your heart, you need to trust that feeling. You need to trust that you're not getting the full story. And this comes to my argument with government in the first place, which is, are you guys idiots? Because don't you see how many people don't trust you? Don't you see how many people think you're bold-faced liars? Are you going to address that at any point? Are you going to answer to those accusations? Or are you just going to be beep, plead the fifth? Sorry, but as a representative of we the people, You don't get the privilege of avoiding self-incrimination. If that's a problem for you, then you need to not be a public servant. You need to be a self-absorbed, self-serving a-hole like you really are, instead of pretending to be a person of the people. Question everything. Always challenge your limitations. How many times have we done this before? Right? I'm going back. I love my circle. Challenge your limitations. All I can do is roll over. All I can do is lift myself up. I'll never be able to stand on my own. I so need this piece of furniture right here to stand up. If I let go of this piece of furniture, I'm going to fall flat on my face. There's no way I can ever stand up. Well, thank goodness you challenged your limitations. And thank goodness you're continuing to challenge your limitations. This is the access to effortlessly feeling more limitless in your life. Want a bonus? Bonus, bonus, bonus. I love bonuses. You love bonuses too? Drop a hashtag bonus in the comments over there, and we will get to it. Here's your bonus. Huh? What the heck is that? Give me a firm place to stand and a lever big enough, and I can move the earth. That was Archimedes, the grandfather of geometry, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a math buff. But he was instrumental in our understanding of the physical world. So what is he talking about here? Give me a firm place to stand and a lever big enough, and I can move the earth. Well, we're talking about limitless today. How limitless does that feel? Like awesome, right? So that firm place to stand, that is the present moment. That is the rock that you want to build your house on that Jesus talked about. Don't build it on sand. Build it on something solid that can support your weight. A firm place to stand is the present moment. And stand with a present moment perspective, and you will be aware of that lever that is big enough to move the world. That lever is your will, your free will. It is a secret power that we were all given by God Almighty, however you want to frame that. I trust at this point that people are realizing that the name is insignificant or inconsequential. The experience is everything when it comes to a higher power. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what kind of face you put on it. All that is inconsequential to the firsthand experience of a higher power. Give it to yourself. And over the next couple of months, when things are really going nuts and you have a higher power to rest your head on that has your back, you can thank me. This isn't a religious invitation. This is a spiritual invitation, an invitation for you to believe in something greater than yourself, to believe in something greater than chaos and random coincidence, random occurrences. That's the whole scientific viewpoint that has so many people being anti-religious because they think, oh, that's so archaic. They're believing in an imaginary man up in the sky that listens to our prayers and gives us everything we want. How immature, how childish is that? Everybody knows it's not real. The only thing that's real is science. You'll see. Just keep watching. All right, there's your bonus. Archimedes. Give me a firm place to stand, a rock to build your house upon, and a lever big enough. Your will, your faith. Faith is will in action. Faith is will in action. Ooh, I like that. I just got a new subject from my post. Faith is will in action. No, will is faith in action. That's it. Will is faith in action. Awesome. Now it's been a long hour here, so don't forget to leave at least one hashtag found fun over yonder. That way you have a chance. Don't forget to have at least one hashtag found fun below for your chance to get a complimentary taste of a present moment perspective. All right, super quick here. Let's review. Life is what you make it. Here's 3 ways to effortlessly feel more limitless in your life. Number 1, understand how we limit ourselves. That's what this is all about, not the Archimedes. That's what this is all about, is understanding how we limit ourselves. If you understand how we limit ourselves, then you can unlimit yourself. Number 2, everything you've learned is a limitation. Expand beyond what you know. Venture into the unknown of life, the unrealized, the unmanifest. Number 3, question everything. Always challenge your limitations. That is the access to feeling effortlessly limitless. When you actually challenge your limits, when you challenge your limitations, you will see how they're not the end all be all, how there is something greater beyond what it is that we believe. And that is ever expanding, just like the entire universe. Your consciousness is ever expanding. Align with the process. Stop fighting it. What is it? Poltergeist, right? Go into the light, Christine. No, don't go into the light. Go into the light, Christine. So go into the light and discover your limitless nature. And of course, our bonus, Archimedes. Give me a firm place to stand, awareness, present moment, and a lever big enough. Your will, faith in action, and I can move the earth. Simple fundamentals. Doesn't require any hokey pokey fantasy fairy tale beliefs about some super being or anything like that. It's just believing in the simplicity. That's the best way to put it. Since the mind is the most complicated thing in existence, then I'm going to say the opposite is what you want to seek. You know what to do. Catch me live every Thursday right here, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on my Facebook profile, on my Facebook page, which I would love for you to follow and like. Give it some love. Give this video some love. Give my profile some love. Help me out. Help me get the word out is what I will ask. And of course, on my YouTube channel. So there's multiple opportunities for you to contribute to the advancement of this understanding of the fundamentals of being human. Remember, the fastest way to get to where you want in life is with a guide who's been there before you. My name is Keith Volpe. I am a self-awareness expert operator, master trainer, ready to serve the greater good, specifically those experts, diehard experts and entrepreneurs serving the greater good. You're my ideal client. Let's connect. Drop a hashtag found fun. Find a way to get in touch with me. Let's have a conversation and let's move this whole world forward by moving ourselves forward. Until next Thursday, take care. Be aware.